The following podcast contains adult language, like they're going to talk about the taxes or something. I don't know. Anyway, listener discretion is advised. Andrew, put the phone down.
The what?
Put the phone down.
The phone?
Put the phone down.
Oh, the phone.
Put the phone down.
Oh, he gave.
He's not putting the phone down.
Gave Mandalorian and Grogu a half star. Which brought out.
Andrew, pick the phone up.
Welcome to Pixels and Puppets, the Operation Puppet podcast, the only podcast to combine the subjects of gaming, tech, media, and puppets for no easily explainable reason. It's June 19th, 2026. You are the internet. I am Kevin Blades. My pronouns are he, him, and this is episode 12 of season 4 of Pixels and Puppets, the Operation Puppet podcast. Joining me is my co-host. His pronouns are he, him. It's Andrew, aka Bat Phantom.
Happy Juneteenth.
It is Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth.
Would be remiss to not point that out.
I want to know more about the shit those poor people go through every fucking day. And I actually, you know, one of the subreddits I actually see is Black People of Reddit, which is heartbreaking most of the time. Mm-hmm. But it's great to hear people's voices talking about the shit they go through, and so that I can go, fuck me.
Well, and this is one of the things, like, you know, as I've talked about before, having had a lifelong interest in things like the blues and jazz and being a nerd, therefore I was not content to just like the thing. I had to know all about the thing. And of course, the history of that music is tied up in the history of the African American experience. I mean, and when you actually start doing like research into the Harlem Renaissance and the diaspora and like this, it's you understand why we are like why where we're at now is so fucking heinous.
Yeah.
Like in a way that you even as heinous as you might think it is, if you don't understand it from the perspective of a person of color, you don't even have a fraction of the idea of where we're at.
One of the posts that came up today was a gentleman reminding everyone that Charlie Kirk was racist because he posted the video Charlie Kirk posted on Juneteenth a couple of years ago, where he just says, "It's June 19th. It's a holiday. I'm going to work. This shouldn't be a holiday." Mm-hmm. And that was the extent of it. Like, wow. You know, there's the fact that people
You're going to work
him,
podcasting, Charlie.
Yeah. The fact that people still try to pretend like, no, he loved black people. He wasn't racist at all. Like, yeah, sure. If you ignore every single thing he said, then I guess he wasn't. Anyway,
it's okay.
Sucks to even invoke him.
I can't possibly be racist. I have black friends.
Exactly. Right? A black guy once said hello to me, and therefore I'm untouchable. Anyway,
happy Juneteenth.
Yes.
Happy actual Juneteenth.
Yeah. For the record, we in Canada do not have a holiday for Juneteenth. It is an American holiday because it is an American.
Yeah, because it's an American thing.
Yeah. So, you know, we've got our own shit that we should be dealing with, and we do, and we are. But we're not likely to have a federal holiday.
Not right now. We're not. Nope.
So anyway, it's important to have because at least in Canada we have a fucking conversation about it. We don't pretend like everything's been cured. Anyway. Yeah.
There's a whole conversation there. But we're just going to go into the thing because there's no good way out of this.
I was talking earlier. I actually did something nice last week, something good. I went to a show. I went to a concert. I hadn't been to Lee's Palace in a while. I think the last show I saw
Good old sleazy phallus.
I think the last show I saw there was Public Image Limited. And I left halfway through just because it was just too busy and I just couldn't deal with it. It was fine. I mean, he was, you know, it's Johnny, whatever. Yeah. Now he's MAGA Johnny, so fuck him. But
is he still MAGA Johnny?
Oh yeah,
Really?
He's anyway.
Hell.
I know. So this was Flashing Lights. They were a band out of Halifax from the late '90s. Matt Murphy from Super Friends was their front man. They only did 1 or 2 albums. I think they did 2. Didn't explode by any means, but they were a solid band. One of their, I believe their guitarist passed away. No, the bass player passed away. So they wanted to remember him by doing a couple of shows. So they did a show in Halifax, and they did the show in Lee's Palace. And so it was a celebration of life kind of a thing. The opening band was a trio from Charlottetown called Absolute Losers, and that's a name like, how the fuck is there a band now called Absolute Losers? How was there not a band with that name like decades ago?
I'll bet you there was.
Maybe. But they were great. They were very much a group of young men who grew up on Sloan in that era, and are continuing that legacy, but with their own sound. It was very fun. And then Flashing Lights were fantastic, and the whole room was on fire because they were just so happy to be there. It was a full house, and I was not the oldest person in the room. But I was probably anyway. It was nice to just get the vibes, and it was solid stuff. Good music, and it was just good to be in a live music environment, because I don't get that much anymore. And it's so different in a club versus at the amphitheater or the Scotia Arena.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you get that intimacy, and you're shoulder to shoulder with people who are into the band. You know, I've gone to shows at least before where people went because it was the hot new artist and they just wanted to say they were there and they didn't give a fuck.
I've played the stage at Lee's Palace.
Really?
Wow. I've been in a few bands, and we did Lee's Palace one night.
See, and that's the beauty of Lee's Palace. It's the great equalizer. You know, like the smallest. A couple of upstarts who just paid the money and got access.
It was an open
to
mic night. We signed up.
There you go. You got to trod the boards, and and some legendary bands have been in there. But it's just a great space. But I mean, there were those kinds of shows though. The shitty fans, not even fans, shitty attendees, I don't know, would stand by the bar and just talk. There was one band I saw years ago. They were it was Kings of Convenience. They were a duo from Sweden, I think. Great music, but very subtle, very quiet. And the singer had the flu.
Oh, no.
But he still struggled to play. And at one point he begged the bar to stop serving for just one song because it was making so much noise.
Right.
And I felt so bad. And it made me want to have a quiet venue, like a seated venue. This show should have been in a seated venue, not at Lee's Palace, but they weren't big enough for a larger show. But so I felt bad for them. But so you do get the shitty people going to Lee's still. But by and large, it's still great to go to a live music venue and just feel the vibes, and I highly recommend if you're listening to this and you haven't been to a live show, there's odds are there's a great band playing this weekend that you've maybe never heard of. This is $10 to get in.
This is the weird position I'm in, because like I'm going to be 58 in September. I'm getting to the point now where I really got to think long and hard about. But the thing is, I'm also at a point where I'm discovering all these new artists, and they're all touring, smaller venues, so it's not an arm and a leg to actually go and see them. And I'm like, I just found out that Delilah Bond, who's one of my favorites, she's a queer feminist rap artist, like really kind of rap, but also punk, and just like uncompromising in a way that I really appreciate. She's doing her first Canadian tour ever, like a week before my birthday. We'll be in town. And I'm like, and it's going to be like $40.
Does it say where it is?
I can't remember. Something Adelaide, something. There's some.
Oh, that's the Great
venue.
Hall.
Okay.
Oh, no. Yeah, it sounds right. Yeah,
it's a smaller venue.
Right.
I
know the one. I think I know the one you're talking about, but maybe it is called the Adelaide something or other. Anyway, it's a small place, but yeah, for me,
she doesn't play big stages.
As long as I can lean against something at least, like I was leaning against the soundboard, and that was fine. Although the next day my leg was like, "Hello, fuck you."
Well, this is the thing. Like, I've got a really good, like, we had a thing long and hard before we went to Bloodywood.
Yeah.
Right. But we got balconies, we got seats. It was like, it was fine.
I don't want to say it's non-negotiable at this point, but I'd certainly like to at least be able to lean on something. Yeah. Standing up for 2 hours or plus, it was 3 hours at the end. But anyway.
So I don't know. I'm still mulling that over. I don't think she's going to sell out. So
no, but you should still
there's time.
You should still get the tickets anyway while they're available. Just and then give yourself some flexibility, because I mean, so
it's also I think a Sunday night, which is always dodgy. So
I actually bought my tickets on StubHub for the Flashing Lights show. They were selling direct for $53 on TicketWeb. And I'm like, I thought my coworker had actually got me a ticket, and it turned out that he didn't. And so I'm like, all right, well, if I can get a ticket, I'll go. And there were still tickets available the day before, but I'm like, I should see if somebody's just trying to unload their ticket. And sure enough, I was able to get one for $30.
Nice.
So, the band didn't get affected by that because the ticket was already sold.
Yep.
Somebody ate $20 because they took it at the last minute, and it was still sold out. So, so it's always if you do have to unload a ticket at the day of, then it's usually not that hard to use StubHub and at least get some money back for it if you choose not to. But so I would counsel at least to secure the tickets.
I'm definitely tempted to, because if nothing else, I just want to support her. But
yeah, exactly. And it's nice to just give yourself the option. And if on the day of,
I promise Toronto is not going to be a big venue for Delilah Bond. So it's like,
oh man, I don't know. That sounds like I would imagine there's going to be quite the crowd for that
queer
one.
Feminist crowd. I mean, I'd be among my people at least.
Yeah, there you go.
But
so anyway,
so you got movie stuff apparently.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing it's that time of year where the big movies are coming out, and
those are the films that are shown on the screen that is big, right?
Yeah, the large scale material is out. So this week is the new Spielberg Disclosure Day. So I saw that on Sunday. I saw it in IMAX. I'm a big IMAX proponent. Didn't need to be in IMAX. There was not shot for IMAX. It was simply the best screen and sound system that you could see it with. So I'm not going to say no to that. But a very good film. It's not a great script. It's fascinating because, I mean, it's Spielberg, so you grade it on a curve anyway in a lot of ways.
Sure,
the man is a master. There's nobody questions his skills as a filmmaker. It's very much in play. He elevates the material. But it fits beautifully into his pantheon of alien stories, Close Encounters, E.T., War of the Worlds, and now Disclosure Day. What's interesting in the discussion about it is that it's very much the opinion of an older white man who still clings to older ideals and is trying to will them into existence.
I think just the subject matter alone is almost quaint. You know what I mean? Like
exactly
at this stage in history, right?
And so that's where a lot of it does kind of fall apart when you really start picking at in this world, this interpretation of the aliens have been here for some time and their presence is being hidden by shadowy government organizations. There's a lot of ways that this falls apart instantly. For instance, why the fuck do the aliens only go to the United States? They don't suggest that it would have made more sense had this organization been global and were coordinated. And I'm sure that was part of the script at some point. I mean, Colin Firth is the head of the organization. He's British. That's global. So, anyway, it's that element isn't great, but it's still the weapon of the good guys is empathy. Which is great. It's a little naive at this point, and also the idea that an info dump of information is going to change the world.
Yeah,
I will say there's a great line when the info dump starts, and they're like, "Is this AI?" And the girl says, "No, it's passing." She mentions a name of whatever system that they have to check and see if it's AI. I don't think it's real, but they just basically want to hand wave it and say, no, it's real. Don't worry about it. And it's a funny moment for me when they say, no, it's passing. It says it's legit. So, and then, the whole world sees this info dump and like, holy fuck. Anyway, it's very good. I would recommend seeing it. I don't necessarily say see it on the big screen, but it's a solid piece of entertainment, and there's a lot to discuss about it. A lot of great performances, of course, but it feels a lot like it was supposed to be a TV series. Like there was definitely, not that it felt episodic, but it is pretty episodic, honestly. So it could have been in gestation as a TV series, and Spielberg decided to get them to make it a 2-hour movie. And anyway, so that was. I was good, and I do recommend it, but I'm not saying go see it in IMAX. It's even waiting for streaming, it'll be fine. The other thing I want to mention is Spider-Man: Brand New Day, the new one that's coming out. It's been a while. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's been that long since the last
Isn't
one.
Tom Holland like, I don't know, 50?
Yeah. So he ain't a young boy anymore, but he still looks young. He's got, I guess that's the advantage of his casting.
Right.
I don't think he's going to be doing many more after this, honestly. I think this is kind of, I feel like it's the end of it, but it's also because they're calling it Brand New Day. I don't know. They're not discussing long term.
They've already done Spider-Verse stuff.
Right,
so.
exactly. So
Who knows? Once you go quantum, you don't go back.
So I think this ties into the Avengers Doomsday stuff. I think I've talked about on the show.
Would have to.
They're not. No, I mean, no. I don't think story wise it ties in at all because it's still its own thing. It's Sony. There are Marvel characters in it. I know Hulk is in it based on the trailer, but I don't think it's supposed to lead into Doomsday because they want to pretend like Doomsday is its own thing and you don't even have to have seen any of the other movies because it's totally fresh. And please, for the love of God, see this film. The desperation is insane. So because they're not doing an IMAX version of Doomsday since Dune 3 is going to eat those theaters when that comes out, and Disney's doing their own format, which we discussed. This must have come up before because they shot this film in Screen X. I'm probably mentioned Screen X a long time ago.
This sounds familiar.
So Screen X is there's got side projections in the theater. So there's the main screen in front, but then to your left and right are two more full-size screens. I saw one movie in Screen X, Star Trek Beyond, because I thought it would be interesting. And it's just in that film, basically they were just like star fields and shit in the back, and it was very, you were never really meant to look over at it. It was just supposed to kind of contain your vision. So it's a little 3D-ish in that way. They would have
it fills your peripheral with something.
They would use a lot of AI, I would think, today if they were to do it in that format and just kind of generatively fill whatever's going on. But for Spider-Man, they actively shot several of the sequences for Screen X, so with extra content that they could project onto those sides to make it more immersive. And, Spidey swinging through the cities, that could be kind of cool. So
I guarantee you it's not going to make it more immersive. It's going to make it distracting because people are going to be rubbernecking around, looking around the theater. Like
at the very core.
So they don't miss anything, right?
Yeah, it ain't necessary. That's for sure. This is simply...
I smell a nice, freshly baked gimmick right here.
Well, and it's interesting in that the technology has been out for a decade almost, and no film has used it until now. It is a Korean company that also owns 4DX, which is the dynamic seat with the spray and the 3D.
The torture chair.
Yeah, basically. So I will probably check it out in Screen X if I like. I've already got tickets for the regular screening. I might check it out in Screen X just to see how it is. If the film, I'm assuming it'll be entertaining, but I'm not planning to see it right away. The shitty thing is that they are doing 3D presentations of the fucking movie. Like, guys,
that's still a thing.
You know why? Money.
Yeah, well,
they can charge $3 a ticket for the 3D.
Well,
the 3D
also
version.
the investment that the company's made into 3D, they still are like.
I don't think there's a single person who goes to the theater and says, "Which one's in 3D? That one, please." No one. And the problem is half the screenings are in 3D, and those people are going to show up having bought the ticket and be handed a pair of glasses, and they're going to go, "Oh, okay, that's it."
Yeah.
Nobody wants fucking 3D.
It's the same reaction as whenever your app that you use suddenly gets the little sparkle icon for whatever AI thing they've rubbed on it. And same thing. Yep. The companies have invested money, so you're going to get this thing. I know nobody wants it, but you're going to fucking get it.
Nobody sees that and goes, "Oh, they've got AI in my McDonald's app now. Great. Tell me what I want, app. Mickey D, the app, the AI. I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to even speculate what McDonald's will call their AI. That's a whole vector. We could go into that. I'm not going to do it. Anyway, that's basically the end of movie news. I do want to mention we lost James Burrows today, who is legendary TV director. He's directed more than 1,000 episodes of television in his career, which is fucking insane. But he was behind Cheers, and was also a big reason why Friends took off. but he started on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and he was still directing last year. He's got credits from 2025, and he was 85. I don't think they mentioned it in here. My understanding is he was supposed to be on a plane on September 11th, and and changed his plans, and obviously, I don't think they mentioned that anywhere in here. But I do vividly remember him being on the list of people who should have died, but didn't, which is interesting. Anyway, he did. I looked it up. He did one movie in the 80s called Partners. It was a buddy cop movie with Ryan O'Neal and Joel Grey. Joel Grey.
Wow.
Okay, it gets better.
Okay.
Joel Grey is gay.
Yeah.
And the premise is that there's a serial killer in the gay community. So the cops decide to take very hetero Ryan O'Neal and make him pretend to be the partner to Joel Grey, who's a clerk. He's not even a cop. He's a cop in that he's a cop, but he's also not a street cop by any means. So they make him be part of this storyline, and Ryan O'Neal has to pretend to be his partner. So it is amazing. There's like a 2.5-minute trailer on IMDb for it.
I can already picture.
It is amazing. And I'm reading the reviews for it. Most people are saying it's fine. You know, it's a product of its era. But even in the trailer, he says something about being a fag, which I thought was pretty amazing. But I mean, I guess it was just very casual at that era to say that. But he didn't say the long version. But it just the gay panic obviously just through the fucking roof. And poor Joel Grey is just kind of the character is also just kind of defeated. He seems miserable through the whole thing.
Like Joel Grey does two things: cabaret and defeated.
Yeah.
Right?
and also let's not forget. I mean, it's fascinating that he's playing a gay character. I'm 90% sure he was straight. But he also played.
I would question how straight.
The notable role I know him from that era is Remo Williams, The Adventure Continues, when he played Chun, the Asian martial arts expert.
Oh my lord!
And at a glance, you wouldn't even know it. That. But holy fucking shit! Today is that ultra problematic.
Wow!
Yeah. It is. It is a great performance, but it's also just not acceptable.
We just gotta go.
The fact that they said we need a martial arts expert, like an older dude let's get Joel Grey and put him in heavy makeup so that nobody can recognize him. And Jesus, Murphy.
And just slant his eyes a bit more.
Oh my God, you're not even wrong.
I'm sure rough. I'm not. I can picture it already.
Anyway, that was the only movie James Burrows made, and it's like he did that and went, "Nah, I'm good. I'm just going back to TV. This is fine." But just the legacy that this man had, Cheers alone is just an incredible show. He also directed every episode of Will and Grace. Okay, hey, again, get the gay characters, but it's still that I think he kind of. I don't know. Cheers has to be his baby, but obviously Will and Grace, the fact that he did the whole series, says a lot. But yeah, so 85, that's a good run. The fact that he was still working means, did he still need the money? Or I guess you can still direct at 84.
At some point, like, you either work or you don't know what to do with yourself.
Well,
right?
if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, so they say. Puppet man.
I mean, well, counterpoint.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all I got for the intro of our podcast. It's a special 4-hour podcast.
What's something about movies? Who else who died?
Yeah, that's it.
Go.
And music.
Yeah. So coping mechanism is what is next. We actually have we both have independently, without actually consulting each other, we both have something different in coping mechanism.
Well,
which
I don't think we've ever had the same thing, but we at least have something positive this week.
Like last time. So yeah, for me, and it was a positive thing, and it was just a small thing. And this is one of the things I think that is good to put in coping mechanism. It's not always going to be something huge and impactful. Coping mechanism, FYI, is the part of the intro where we talk about anything that has either inspired, uplifted, or distracted us in the past 2 weeks. And for reasons we will talk about in the next section, I've been facing a bit of a creative slump lately. Feeling quite defeated, etc., as every hashtag content creator can, I'm sure, empathize with at some point in their whole trajectory. Everybody, particularly now, starts feeling a bit defeated. I should have clicked the link before I started this bit. Hang on, just let me copy this because I didn't want to get the words right. So while I was in the midst of feeling this way, one of my favorite people on the Fediverse, Veronica Explains, who does Linux videos, and she's also known as Linux Mom. Really, really fantastic. Like, she's one of the people that inspired me and gave me the confidence to actually make the big switch and all that thing. She does very beginner-friendly Linux videos is her whole thing, and she also does retro computing stuff and gaming stuff, and she's very cool. One of the things she just happened as I was in the midst of feeling this, crisis of creative confidence, she just posts on one of her explains.social, which is a Fediverse connected social network. The internet is still full of wacky, weird, fun stuff. Your stuff still has a home. People want to see it. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. And if there was any group of words that I needed to hear in that exact moment, right? Because I was feeling exactly all of the things that she's referencing, right? It's it's so hard to have a voice. It's so hard to get noticed now more than ever. The forces that are arraigned against creatives, particularly online right now, our work more than anybody else's is being devalued, right? And we are the ones that are attempted to be replaced. So to actually do anything and have any kind of confidence that anyone's ever even going to see it, particularly after having done it for years, it's really hard to try and think of the next thing, right? That's where I've been. And to just hear that, to kind of go, no, there is a reason to still go. Because the conclusions that I've been coming to is the landscape that we're in and the AI slop avalanche and all of that kind of stuff. The fact is that there is pushback, right? Yes, this is now the mainstream culture. This, AI slop is the mainstream culture. But as I know well, after having lived a lifetime on the fringes, for every culture, there's a counterculture, and there is pushback. And so what we are seeing now at the very beginning of the stage where there is an emergence of people actively looking for things that aren't that's where I belong, right? That's my thing. And so the people who want that, once they find me, and this is one of the reasons why I've stuck on the Fediverse, because that's one of the main vectors for that.
Absolutely.
That's where my domain is.
Yeah, I mean, the slop merchants are the ones that are trying to push the narrative that everybody is fine with this and loves it and wants it and is happy to have it. And a lot of people are just getting that message over and over again, and they're starting to believe it. But there's still, I think even regular people, when they're given the slop, are recognizing it now. They're realizing, oh, this is slop. This isn't real.
There's an acclimatization arc, I find. And the comparison I make is going to be kind of weird, but I think it's apt. When King Kong was released, so we've got stop motion in a wide mass market audience viewing stop motion animation for the very first time. People freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
We look at King Kong now, right? And it's quaint. There's no way anyone's going to fall for that. That's it's silly, right? But the only reason that we can do that is because culturally we have been acclimatized to recognize the markers of that.
Yeah.
Every form of generative art has markers.
Yeah, even in the 90s, in the early 2000s, when people started noticing CGI.
Yeah.
That's the same reflex. They started to reflexively hate it whenever you saw it, because at the time there was a lot of really shitty CGI getting produced.
Yeah.
On a lot of it for the same reason, where people were, filmmakers were like, oh, this is going to be so much cheaper than doing stop motion animation, and they did shitty CGI, and audiences recognized it.
Really kills me is the fact that we've seen an arc where it's like, where CG was just kind of like, oh wow, this is amazing, this is like, and then we start seeing the whole, why has CG got so much worse, right? That's been the arc lately, and I'll tell you this, it hasn't. We've become acclimatized to it and can pick out the markers easier, and so now it's looking like stop motion animation to us, because we're acclimatized to it, and that is what humans are. Humans are built for pattern recognition. We're going to recognize those patterns eventually, and it's going to get passed down through cultural memory, and our children will inherit that. So there is a place, as Veronica said, there is a place for people who still make shit and who do niche weird things. You have a home, and there are people who want to see it. It may not be a lot, but there are. Don't stop. The only way that the fucking Sam Altmans of the world win is if we stop.
Exactly.
So don't stop. So there we go. There's my coping mechanism. You got something from Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt has a new special, which is on YouTube.
Oh.
It is a partnership with Gorilla, 800-pound Gorilla Comedy, I guess. So I haven't looked into the reasons why he's decided this is his new vector for it, but so it's, as far as I know, it's free to watch. I mean, I have YouTube Premium, but I don't think that has anything to do with it. And Patton is just, he's a fucking bomb, BALM, a bomb, not the bomb.
Sucker and bomb.
Yeah, he is. It's so comforting, because he's such a fucking great dude. He's so positive. He recognizes the negativity in the world.
We'll say, like, Patton's got a real dark side, but he does it in a way that is, a way that somebody who appreciates dark humor can you understand where that's coming from, right?
And
he's a spiritual goth.
He's a giant nerd, but in the best ways. Like he embraces nerd culture. He comes from nerd culture, but he also has an appreciation of reality as part of that. And him being a father comes into play a great deal in his content now. And he's a storyteller in the end, and he's a great storyteller, and he tells some real great, amazing, true to life shit that happened to him, which are just amazing. And if you've never seen him do stand up, for the love of God, watch the new one. Let me get the name of it here. It's Tea and Scotch.
Okay, all right.
It's funny because I don't even think that comes up in the material. At the start of it, he's talking about how we don't need writers anymore because of the fact that there's all this great stuff, and then he'll still find himself in bed scrolling through the videos. And he talks. One of the first ones he mentions is the hoof doctors. So there's videos of the veterinarians whose focus is the hooves, and they find the cow or the horse with the overgrown hooves, and they get them into the stable, and they start hacking away at it, and it's just fascinating because it's basically like a big fingernail. But anyway, he doesn't get into details about it, but he's just talking about that, and I'm like, I've done that. I've been down that rabbit hole. And then he says, and then he got into the woman who cleans hoarders' houses, and I haven't gotten into those yet. I've gotten a couple of those. He talks about the woman who cleans up after hoarders and how great that is, and then he talks about the guy who mows lawns and overgrown neighborhoods. I'm like, that's SB mowing. He's talking about SB mowing. I totally love that dude. And so you just immediately hooks you in, because there's very specific stuff that and again, he'll do that too in a lot of his nerdy shit. Like he'll make very specific references, and if you feel blessed if you recognize what he's talking about.
He knows the obscure thing I know.
Yeah, but it's not just about that. Again, it's the storytelling and he's just so good at what he does, and he's one of the best stand-ups. I've seen him live a couple times. It's just phenomenal, and it's always just a treat. So I highly recommend Tea and Scotch, Patton Oswalt on YouTube, available now. It's a good hour-long special. It's not going to commit the day. It's a good way to spend your evening. So definitely watch that and find any of his other material. I mean, God, going back to when I think of his stand-up, I go back to almost 20 fucking years ago, and I'm talking about the KFC, the KFC bowls. This is a failure pile and a sadness bowl. It's just so good.
Werewolves and Lollipops, I think, was the name of that special.
Oh my God, he never stops. He's like every year it feels like there's a fresh one, and it's fresh. It's always, he's always current. He's always dealing with the reality. I'm sure his next one will probably talk about AI, but it's highly recommended.
All right, there we go. So that'll do it for the intro. I need a drink, so we're going to take an actual break, and we will be back with the Puppet Pit. You have entered an alternate dimension, a dimension of fleece and fur, of foam and industrial adhesives. So I hope you have good ventilation. A signpost up ahead. Watch your step. You have just stumbled into the Puppet Pit. Welcome to the Puppet Pit, where we talk about the puppet side of Operation Puppet for the last 2 weeks. And that will be builds. So starting out, let's see. I do have it here, but I'm trying to remember. There was context, and I can't remember the context.
Oh no, I ruined your context.
It's okay. You know what? My context is very easy to ruin. I should have more resilient context.
Context is key.
That's what we've learned. So last week I found, that's right, I got through the build that I had planned and it sold. So, because it was a commission, I think, if I remember correctly.
That's a good one to sell.
That is a good one to sell. So I found myself with a little bit of extra flex time. So I took some time and I worked on Ortis, as we have talked about before, because the clock is ticking. So I want to make sure that I, got some stuff in for that. So that's what I did last week. Then, as I was doing that, the last Greebly on the shop sold.
Excellent.
So this week, because Greeblies are a staple, and I always want to have 1 or 2 of those up on the shop. So since that was the last Greebly, that's what I did this week. Was I made 2 Greeblies, a blue one and a green blue one and a green one, and with the green one sold already.
Awesome.
So
Fan-fucking-tastic.
Woo, okay, good. Because. I think this is where are my notes here? Let me see. Ortis Greebly. Oh, right. Yeah. So here's the thing about Ortis. The thing I'm building that I was just going to take to walk around TennoCon.
Just to show off.
Just to go to TennoCon.
Hey, everybody, look at my puppet.
Look, I have a puppet of Ortis. And I went.
Who recognizes this guy?
The thing of it was I had hoped to have time for the iMac.
Right.
I have decided that I have a concept for it, but I probably am not going to have enough time to build it. And I thought, oh, you know what? I'll do a 2.0 next year, and then maybe I'll enter the cosplay contest. And then I started thinking more about that, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to be at next year. I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford to go next year. I got this year lined up. Fuck it, we ball. I entered the cosplay contest with this Ortis. Now, because it's Digital Extremes and because they are therefore thoughtful and inclusive, there are 2 sections to the cosplay contest. There's a non-competitive and a competitive.
Right.
The competitive has a cash prize. It's like $10,000 or something. And that's for the real, I'm going to do a screen accurate Excalibur or whatever. I've seen some of the shit that and it's like, how do you see? Warframes don't have eyes. You don't have, how do you see out of that?
Yeah.
But anyway. People have done some crazy
I don't see
shit.
out of it.
Yeah.
Well, I walk around using the Force.
That kind of is the answer.
I got a guy behind me going left, left, left.
Sometimes they've got like a screen
Camera,
or webcams. There's crazy shit that people do.
Some Carol Spinney shit.
There's a non-competitive side. And that's for anybody at any skill level who wants to do anything. Somebody came by last year with a corpus thing that they made that was just like cardboard taped together, just for anybody who wants to like,
wear a denim, a Canadian tuxedo and call it a Warframe.
Basically, like somebody came up with like, like a stalker mask, and that's an inside joke.
Yeah.
With like a doll his head, and he had like #1 best dad. That's an inside joke for Warframe people.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but you still have to register.
Right.
They used to do it like they would accept registrations at the door, but they're not doing it this year. You had to register by June 24th. So by the time I kind of went, I should just fucking go for it. The clock was ticking. So that's one of the reasons why I took last week to do Ortis, was I got to a point where it's like, okay, well, if I can get to this point, then I'll submit my registration. And I did, and I got the confirmation. They are delighted to invite me.
Awesome.
So I am going to be. This is why this is a big deal. It's not just the Warframe thing. It's the fact that this is live streamed to literally thousands of people. Thousands of people will be putting eyes on the puppet that I have made. Mm-hmm. This is the first. Mm-hmm. This is kind of a big deal for me.
Definitely.
So it's like
exposure.
So I'm a little nervous. Just a little. I've got a plan though. I got a bit.
Concepts of a plan.
They want to, so Taylor is usually the one that, well, and this is the other reason that I knew that I probably was going to get accepted was Taylor. I can't remember her last name. She's with the senior live ops manager at DE. I had already followed her on Blue Sky because I follow a bunch of people from DE on Blue Sky. And like the day after I submitted my application, she followed me back.
Oh, excellent.
So
that's how it starts.
Okay. Somebody read a thing, right? Because they ask you, do you have any pictures of what you're working on? And so I set up a private, or like it is public, but I just sent like a private link to the application thing so they could see like the pictures that I've got of the Ortis puppet that I'm building. So somebody clicked on it and they saw it. So it's like, and they went, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, do that. This will be a first for them as well as me. So
it's fantastic. I love it.
I'm psyching myself up for this. And here's the crazy part, right? So the cosplay contest happens. It's the very first event in the entire weekend. Mm-hmm. The cosplay contest, which takes place in the same venue and right before the orchestral concert. That's that night. So I've had to rethink my wardrobe because one of the things that both Rebecca Ford and the kind of, hey, you're coming to TennoCon, here's how to get ready for it. They kind of suggest that if you've got fancy clothes,
well, unfortunately, you're a t-shirt and shorts kind of guy.
Be a time. So I'm like, I had originally planned on like, docks and shorts and tank tops kind of thing, and now I'm going. I mean, I can do a suit. Baby.
Got to break it up.
I could, got
to break that shit out.
I can bring it.
Oh, you're gonna bring it.
I can bring it.
You got to bring it.
I think I'm probably gonna bring it.
Fuck
yeah. So that's the first night.
Yeah.
The main show isn't until the next day. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm going to be walking around the show floor with Ortis. And by that time, everybody who's there will have gone to the cosplay contest. Yep. And they'll have seen me on stage.
Hopefully they're going to want pictures.
People are going to want
pictures. Please bring business cards.
I have design. I'm settling on a design. I've got a place I can do them in like 3 days.
Excellent.
I can't pass up this opportunity.
This is Vector 1 for getting your shit out.
I feel kind of shitty for thinking that way, but
you can't think. I understand 100%. Self promotion still feels like promotion, and it feels shitty, but it's absolutely earned. Especially since with the work you're putting in and what you do, it's
there's
totally
that, and
worth
also
it.
like DE has always been very supportive of their creative community. Like people make Warframe art and sell it on their own, and they don't have any problem with it.
Yep.
They're cool with it. So it's like,
this is going to be really good for you.
All right, so yeah, that's what's going on there.
Excellent.
So that's why I'm so happy that the Greebly sold this week, because that takes a little bit of pressure off me, because we got the last week of June coming up. Mm-hmm. TennoCon is like 20 days away or something like that. I'm devoting all of next week. I'm finishing Ortis. That's Smart. The goal for next week. Finish Ortis in whatever form he ends up being. And the end of next week is what is going to TennoCon with me. So that's The plan.
Perfect.
Whew,
No, you've got it. You got it down. You got your schedule. You got time. I think it's going to work out beautifully.
I just got a shipment of foam today because I was literally out of foam. So it's like I didn't need that foam, baby.
Yeah,
so.
it's a vital component to puppet building in this
You
stage.
need some foam for puppets. So yeah. So the other thing was, and this is the thing I alluded to in the coping mechanism section, was that I realized a little while ago, a few days ago, that like I haven't done really anything with Frankie and the Oracle or any of my original characters in quite some time. Like the last thing I did was that like when the goblin
season premiere thing.
Well, no.
Oh no, that's right. The other one.
There
Yeah,
was the little short.
Yeah, it wasn't
like,
that long ago, but I know what you mean.
It was long enough.
It felt like you were starting a new season,
Yeah.
and then it's kind of fallen by the wayside.
There's been nothing in the tank, right?
Yeah.
There's the thing, and this is one of the things. One of the reasons there's been nothing in the tank is because I've been feeling so defeated, and like, it's again, as I talked about before, it's so hard to get your voice heard.
Your spoons are stuck in a shipment in the Hormuz Strait.
Yeah, exactly.
Waiting for that shit to
Yeah,
reopen.
exactly. So, but I think the whole thing is I just have to kind of push through that because there's layers here, right? It's like because I'm going to be 58 soon, I'm at the point now where it's like, is it really? Should I really be doing this? Should I really be making puppet characters?
We talked about a guy who's directing TV at 85.
I mean, yeah.
You do what you love. You love what you do, and it's worth doing.
And then the other side of it is that I kind of realized that, like, well, hang on, why am I thinking this? Like, why am I including age into this thing? Because, like, does that really affect any other thing in my life?
It comes back regularly about playing video games.
Exactly.
Should a 58-year-old man be playing video games?
Well, that's exactly it. And the thing is, like, what part of my brain is saying that?
Yeah, what should you be doing? Watching fucking FIFA?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
This is exactly
that would be okay.
The conclusion.
But video games, perish the thought.
That's the conclusion I came to. Was like, look, dude, you've like ever since you were 13 years old, and you've heard your first punk album, you've been outside, right? Like there's been no script for me, and the voice that's saying, "Oh, you're too old for this," is the script, right? But like I haven't followed the script literally my entire life. Why would I start now?
Yeah.
So there is no script. I'm writing my own script. And so I just have to do the thing that feels appropriate and right for me at the time.
Yep.
And that still does. I feel like I've still got it in me somewhere.
Just throw it on and start shooting and just start talking and it'll something will come out.
Well, to that end, one of the things that I kind of miss doing is, physically puppeteering is a challenge, and that is an age-related challenge. That is just too much for me to do at any serious length,
right?
But doing the Frankie play streams with the VTuber avatar, just being in character as Frankie, that I have found that I can just be more creative and be funnier as Frankie.
You're putting on another pair of shoes. You're another person.
Yeah,
and that definitely can give you fresh perspective.
And but again, because like, the VTuber landscape isn't that. Like,
no.
The VTuber landscape is a very different thing.
They may have it. It is theirs to have. And, it's just a tool for you.
So, but that's the other side of it. It's like, well, that's the same thing though, right? Well, yeah, no, I'm not doing the VTuber thing the same way that other VTubers are doing the VTuber thing, but
God, no.
Why should that stop me? Right? Like this, again, that's the script. I'm not following the script. I'm writing a different script. And it means that very few people are going to get it or appreciate it or follow it. But those who do will really appreciate it and follow it. So I think I'm probably just going to bring that back in some capacity, because I have been doing plenty of live streams lately, and it's been fun and it's been good. And I keep thinking, oh, this would be a really great line for Frankie here, right? But so it's like, well, why don't you just fucking do that then? So the Frankie play streams are probably coming back, is what the conclusion to that is.
Good.
And I'm going to try and use that as a springboard for just being in character more and
Definitely.
having more.
It's a muscle.
Yeah, getting more exercise in that department.
Exactly.
So
yeah. No,
we'll see.
It is definitely a muscle that you need to work.
And I know that I've had some conversations with shout out Suni on Gamers Tavern about they may possibly be submitting some questions for the Oracle. So if you do have questions for the Oracle, this would be a real good time, because that's the thing that I need as a kind of starting point and a catalyst for, they can be serious, they can be funny, they can be whatever. I just need like that original spark of raw material to work with, and then I can make something out of that. So it doesn't have to be a great question. It doesn't have to be a creative thing. It doesn't have to be, it could just ask the Oracle anything, and I will take that and run with it. So submit your questions to the Oracle, to me on any of the socials. Join the Discord hashtag, all that kind of stuff. All the links are on Operation Puppet. You know the thing.
This is the call to action.
This is a call to action. OperationPuppet.com as per usual. Okay, that will do it for the Puppet Pit. We're going to take a quick fake break. We're going to take a quick fake break, and we will be back with Pixel Town.
The sky above the port was the color of a YouTube video locked behind 17 unskippable ads. Around the rainy streets, people dodged out-of-control robo-taxis and shot down delivery drones carrying $50 burgers. Here we fight the corporate ecologies and get excited about avoiding our phones. Welcome to the mean streets of Pixel Town.
Welcome to Pixel Town, where we talk about tech, gaming, and all things thereunto related.
Remember the Deck Nook?
I do.
I remember the Deck Nook.
The Deck Nook, who for a brief shining moment when there was such a thing as hardware you could buy.
Holy shit. The stories keep coming, and a lot of companies aren't even, like, nothing just announced that they're not going to do a phone this year. Because they just can't. They just, the cost would be so astronomical.
What was the thing I saw? Was the MSI Claw?
Yeah,
just
$2,500 or something insane. And yet Xbox is evidently losing even more money now every time you buy an Xbox, despite the fact that they gave everybody an Xbox at the last fucking gamer show. No, it's insane. I just added this. So Perry Fractic, I mentioned before how he's brought back they now own the Commodore brand.
Oh yes,
they're doing Commodore stuff. And that's great. And he has talked about wanting to do a phone, which will be low tech, because he's the goal is to keep you off social media and just make your phone just a reasonable device again. So they finally announced, and God bless him, you poor bastard, releasing this now. So it's the callback. The callback 8020, which is a reference to the hardware of the modem of the original Commodore.
Yeah, that would, yeah. Well, yeah.
So, again, was it smartphones too smart, dumb phones too dumb? Commodore built the phone. So the fucking thing keeps scrolling past. He's got like a rolling text, and it keeps changing before I'm trying to read it. Bottom line is, this is a flip phone.
Yep.
It runs apps, but it says runs 99% of Android apps without running Android, because it's got I don't think it's on here, but it's a different OS.
Yes, I remember seeing.
Yeah. So basically, all they did was they banned social media apps, but not communication apps like WhatsApp. So they're trying to keep you from using the usual doom scrolling elements and just use the app for what you need it to do. You can still run games on it. It's not super powerful. Flip closure in T9 style texting. So, throwback to that system. HD music plus radio plus SID chiptune ringtones.
Of course. That's why it's a Commodore.
IEM earphones, worldwide network support. Blocks social media and browsers, a calmer digital life. No data selling, Commodore X Sailfish. It's the Sailfish OS. Puts privacy first. Ambient LED notifications. Physical privacy switch. Double tap rear button to go off grid. So, and it's a very good idea. Guess how much it costs?
No, I don't. I can't guess.
It's $500 American.
Yeah, this thing won't fly.
I mean, the worst possible fucking time.
Yeah.
To have to release new
And it's
hardware.
funny too, because I'll bet you there would have been a market for it.
There is a market for it. And obviously they had to address this internally. They knew this fucking sucks. It's not like it doesn't have a terabyte of storage or anything like that, but I mean the fact that they
does it have RAM? Does it have storage?
They had to charge
if the answer is yes, then you're screwed.
You know, they put a good camera on it. It's got a 48 megapixel camera. It's got an audiophile grade DAC. And you know,
does it have RAM? Does it have storage? That's all that matters.
Canadian price $707.87.
Oh Lord,
bless you guys, but no. So it's sad. I'm frustrated. I hope it still does well somehow. I hope they don't lose a lot of money on it at the very least.
Yeah,
they've got a pricing system here where they're trying to compare it to other similar phones. Like I guess there's a Light Phone 3, Balance Phone Pro, the Minimal Phone.
I mean, there's been these style of like low tech.
These other phones are expensive. Like all these other ones that they're mentioning here are all over $500. So they're competitively priced for a market that is just hard to swallow.
Yeah. And here we were having this conversation a few weeks ago on the Gamers Tavern. I can't even remember how we got on the subject, but and I think we've at least glanced at talking about it on the pod here, but that there is, while it's not by any means the majority, there is at least a cohort of the younger population that is actively rejecting social media, rejecting being online. We just don't know that much about it because they don't post about not being online.
Yep.
We only see the stuff that's online. They're not online. And things like the statistic that foot traffic to malls is up for younger people, but spending is down.
Right.
Kids are going to the malls and hanging out with their friends offline. Like that's happening.
It's amazing.
That's the market for this kind of thing. Right?
And that's it. Callback's custom software was developed with, I'm going to say, it's Jala, but it might be Hoya because I know it's La Jolla is the town, is the city in California.
Yeah.
It's the legendary ex-Nokia engineering team behind Europe's independent Sailfish OS. Mm-hmm. So that's obviously a big part of this design. So I want it to be successful. I want people to embrace this. I love Perry and I love what he's trying to do with the Commodore brand, and this is a good placement, but God, I wish it was a lot less expensive. And I'm sure they do too. I'm sure they would love to be able to sell this for less money.
They're rocking a hard place, right, for them.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like that generation we're talking about of like the kids who are rejecting being online, they're also embracing, retro tech.
Yeah.
That is one of the big drivers for retro tech are kids who never experienced it in the first place because it's novel and it's charming. Right?
I almost pulled the trigger on the Iron Thor again, because they are increasing the price.
Right.
But even then, I ran it through and I realized it was going to basically cost me $600 Canadian. And I just can't justify it given how little I use my Steam Deck for gaming as it is. I love the idea of it. I want to have one, but I'm going to wait. Once the price comes down in the next generation of hardware, then I'll probably pull the trigger. But it could be a year. Basically, what they're saying right now, it's at least a year, maybe two, before they can come back. But I mean, if the bubble pops tomorrow, and half these companies eat shit and die, and all these fucking sensors that are being built just never happen. Perhaps there's a flood of RAM on the market and things become reasonable again. But anyway, we'll see.
I have doubts about that.
So anyway, at least you've been playing something that's not Warframe.
Yes, segue. Hey, what do you mean? At least I've been playing something that isn't Warframe. It's true. I have been playing something that isn't, in fact, Warframe. Caveat. It's not because I'm tired of Warframe.
No.
Look, people freak out, and you can only be one thing, right? I can only be the puppet guy. I can't be anything else,
That's
right? So, I love Warframe. I mean, I was just talking about going to fucking TennoCon and being on stage at TennoCon. Clearly, Warframe is still...
It's important to play multiple things.
But yeah, and that's one of the things. It's like, I actually kind of feel like I want to play more things than just Warframe, so I don't lose interest in Warframe. So it is still exciting and engaging and not just a habit, right? So that's one of the reasons. And the other thing is the the trailer at Summer Game Fest for Guild Wars 3, which was a real surprise and nobody expected, that, you know, kind of sparked my interest again. And I'm not the only one, because Guild Wars in general, both Guild Wars Reforged, which we've talked about before, was a delightful surprise to have that happen. Guild Wars 2 are both having a moment. Their
Number go
way up, particularly since the announcement of Guild Wars 3. And then their follow-up video, which was even more intriguing, that they have every intention and have a roadmap for supporting all 3 games simultaneously. Then there's going to be new content for all of them. They've got teams dedicated to working on each game and to keep them running simultaneously, and they're going to do different things with each game. So it's like, there is a reason for you to keep playing.
That's fantastic. Destiny. Sorry.
But this is the parallels I keep making. So for years and years and years, I've like kind of flirted with Guild Wars, both 1 and 2. I've really liked what their approach was. Even Guild Wars 1, when it first came out, I could tell there was something different here. But the problem then for me was I was coming right off of EverQuest.
Yeah, and it had to be not Warcraft.
Well, that's the thing, right? We're at that kind of weird point between EverQuest and Warcraft, and I was trying to make Guild Wars be EverQuest.
Right.
And the thing about Guild Wars, both 1 and 2, is they are very much their own thing. They have the kind of framework and trappings and the kind of smell of an MMO, but they're really their own thing. Their structure is quite different.
It was the first game I remember having instances.
Yes.
Which was very attractive to me, because when I started Guild Wars, I believe I was coming off of the Lord of the Rings MMO.
Right.
And that was one of the classic ones where you're like, it's like, kill this creature, and it only spawns every 10 minutes in this area, and you would get to the area and there were 30 people
just spawn camping.
And then people were trying to organize and saying, okay, Jimmy's next, and then Johnny's next, and now me, and then some dickhead would run in and smack it, and it was one of those ones where the first hit gets the kill.
It's sad that I'm a bit nostalgic for that.
It is. It's funny, but I mean, that I kind of stopped playing immediately after that happened to me. I'm like, oh, fuck that, I'm not dealing with any of this. And I'd heard similar things happening in Warcraft about spawn camping.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So when Guild Wars said instanced areas, I went hello. But then I hit a very stupid bug very early, and just went, okay, I'm going to come back to this once they patched it, and I never went back.
Right. Of course. Yeah. That was a similar experience to me. I didn't get very far when it first launched.
Right.
But for a different reason, because I was trying to play it like it was EverQuest, and it wasn't, and I was fighting it, and it was fighting me. I wasn't meeting it on its terms, et cetera, et cetera. But then going to Guild Wars 2 and seeing like the real innovations that they made with Guild Wars 2 is fascinating to play. Like it's more MMO-like in that there is a really big shared open world. And there are instances, but it's not as instance in the same way as Guild Wars 1. But their whole thing is this kind of, there are so many dynamic scripted things that just happen in the world. I've never been, and I've played plenty of MMOs, I've never been in one that has literally felt more like a living world, that just stuff happens in randomly. And that's their whole thing, was that exactly addressing the problem you were having of like the spawn camping thing, because with these dynamic events, they're not traditional quests. They're like public things that anybody can get involved with. And if you participate in it, you get the rewards concurrent with your level of participation and how good the group does and all that kind of thing. So there's nothing like what you were describing with the spawn camping problem. But they have done an incredible innovation, and I'm going to make the simile because I think it's apt, despite the fact that this may roll some eyes, but ArenaNet and Digital Extremes do take a similar approach, I think, or a similar philosophy to their games. They have both tried to do something in an established genre that is different, and to not do it the way that everybody else does it, and to really try and innovate and do something different, and that on paper shouldn't work. But it has worked because they've done it well and because they've been dedicated to quality. Excuse me. And because of that, it's been kind of a dark horse hit, right? It's been the alternative thing. It's been the weird underground thing. You always going to hear about it. You know, there's a dedicated community that really loves this thing, but it's not a mainstream thing, right?
Motherfucking Guild Wars Prophecies, April 28th, 2005.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
And
again.
now I will walk into the ocean.
But long history, though. That's my point, right? It's like they've been doing this for a long time. So going back and actually going, you know what? I want to like give this a real shot. Now I own everything. Like I kept buying, like, and that's the one of the differences is Guild Wars 2. I'm going to talk about Guild Wars 2 exclusively now because that's, you know, Guild Wars 1 Reforged is a whole other thing, and it's delightful that exists, and by God, please do buy it. It is so worth getting and playing.
You talk about value. I mean, Jesus.
They had done such a good job with that thing. Like, oh my God, I've been playing that a bit too. But Guild Wars 2 is different from Warframe in that, I mean, obviously the different genres, different types of games, but philosophically different in that it's not free to play. You buy the game, but there's no subscription fees. None. You buy the game, you buy the expansion, you can play all of the content. Everything is just there.
This says it's free to play.
There is a free to play thing, but there comes a point at which I think like up to level 20 or something like that.
Okay,
It's like,
right.
it's one of those things.
It does say there's it's play Guild Wars 2 free to play, buy Guild Wars 2 starter pack $27.99.
Yeah, there's tiers. They have a free to play entry point thing, but there is a point that past
Okay,
which
so
you
you
do have to buy
buy the expansions.
Yes.
The
maybe
full,
maybe the base game is
sorry,
free.
I was curious myself, so I just had to look it up. The complete collection is $127.97. However, that's the same price as the fucking gold edition of the new Assassin's Creed game. So
And it was
it's still of insane value.
I think you may have just missed a sale because
I'm sure it was definitely on sale recently.
There was a major sale recently. I got the one expansion that I didn't already have.
That is a discount. If you bought them all separately, it would be $207.94.
Yeah. So, but that is the thing. You do have to actually buy now. I want to say there's a lot of stuff there for those. Like those expansions are not like small.
Right. No, this
They're-
is hundreds of hours
Yeah.
of gameplay.
So I've finally, and again, it's similar to Warframe in that it's very big, very build focused, very theory crafty, and very complex and hard to understand and very intimidating to come at it as a new player and just get overwhelmed immediately. One of the reasons you get overwhelmed immediately is because it just does things differently. It's not your typical World of Warcraft, go find the person with the exclamation mark floating over their head.
Kill
kind of.
12 wolves.
I mean, there's plenty of that kind of thing, but it's done in a different way. And I really, really appreciate the way it's done. They have what they call horizontal progression. Most games of this genre have vertical progression, right? You're chasing the next gear number. You're chasing the make number bigger. And there comes a point past which, like, there is that at first, because there has to be levels and there has to be things, but there is an upper tier level, and past that you are progressing horizontally. You are defining your build. You are refining your build. You are tinkering with things in a way that will affect your gameplay, but your numbers are still going to be your numbers. And you are kind of at that tier, and you're at the same tier that everybody else is for the duration of the game. And so what that means is, for example, a new expansion comes out. The gear and the build and the thing that you've been working towards is still relevant, will still work. You didn't waste that time because now you've got to grind for the next gear set. There's going to be different things, but the thing you've already got will still be the thing you already got and as valuable as the thing that you have worked for all this time. It's a really well thought out and insightful, and it's one of those games that respects your time, right? The time you put in it, and this is the same thing as Warframe. Warframe, one of the words that gets thrown around a lot is investment. Mm-hmm. You invest either your time or your money, but it all depends. But whatever you invest into the game is going to be rewarded. Nothing is wasted, right? Nothing is disposable. The stuff you do in the game will matter and will matter permanently. And that's really cool. And so you feel like this is something that's worth spending your time in because you're not wasting your time. You're going to come back and this stuff is still going to matter, right? And so it's okay to take breaks because when you come back, you still got your stuff and it's still good. So
there's the FOMO is not there.
Exactly. Both Guild Wars and Warframe are very good with not giving you FOMO because you know the thing is going to come back. They don't lock stuff out. They
respect you as a fucking human being as much as a gamer.
And this is the similarity I keep coming back to between ArenaNet and Digital Extremes. That is their whole thing. They want sustainability. They want people to play their game, but they want people to play their game because it's a good game that people feel like is worth playing. And that's, for some fucking reason, revolutionary and underground. Right? So that's where we're at.
Thank God for the people that are fighting the good fight.
Exactly. So there are a few, and that's the thing. So I'm kind of like, you know what? I think I'm in it now. I'm
just surprised ArenaNet has only made Guild Wars.
I think there's more, or they publish more.
Just Guild Wars.
I mean,
no, the distributor makes more, but
right.
ArenaNet only does Guild Wars.
Gotcha. Well, I mean,
NCSoft has a bunch of titles.
Once again, more similarities to Digital Extremes, right? They do one thing, and that's their thing. And
so I think my issue subconsciously is that I associate Guild Wars with Lineage. Which is NCSoft's giant fucking behemoth.
Oh, right. That thing.
The Korean RPG, which is a very different animal.
Yeah, no, this is not
massively successful, but a very different creature. They also did City of Heroes.
Right.
But yeah, Tabula Rasa. Remember Tabula Rasa?
I do remember Tabula Rasa.
Holy shit.
I bought a new video card so I could play Tabula Rasa.
Shout out to Lord British. Lord British, if you're looking for puppets, please contact Kevin because... man, they've had a rough go since then. But yeah, Lineage. Oh Jesus. Anyway, yeah, they're doing the good work. Thank God NCSoft is throwing the money at it to keep them going, so that they can exist and do their shit in the same way that Digital Extremes is doing their shit.
And here's the funny thing. I think I wanted to sort of pull this around because I keep drawing these parallels between Guild Wars and Warframe. And they are both having a moment, right? And that's not an accident that these games in particular
these games that have been around for a long ass time.
They're old games. They run on older hardware very well.
Yes.
If you buy them or you buy an expansion or whatever, then that's it. You can still just fucking play it. You couldn't just play it. You couldn't play. You can buy the game. You play the game.
It is heartbreaking to think about where Destiny would be today had they been run by good, forward-thinking people instead of Pete Parsons in those glory days.
Yeah.
The people at the top fucked the company. They get no credit for the greatness that the game had, and they get all the credit for the failure.
Right.
And had there been some actual people with vision running that company, they would be in that same level. It would be yeah.
Look, I totally get it because like and everybody, from on the other side of the aisle, as it were, on the Warframe side, has like, we know, we get it, we feel the sense of loss from the Destiny community. There's a reason that there was a new mission in Warframe to like go to. So I okay, tell me about Telesto.
So Telesto is a fusion rifle.
Yeah,
but
it was buggy as fuck, right?
So if I remember correctly, you when you got a couple of kills, you could create a ball, and then you could pick up the void ball and either throw it or beat people with it, and it was very powerful. But it was buggy as shit.
Okay,
and there were many scenarios where it did way more damage than it was supposed to. And then sometimes they would go, you know what? Have fun this weekend. We're going to patch this on Tuesday.
I think I remember you talking about this.
And it was great. And then people thought there was also the pattern where it would fire the particles seemed to match constellations, and people thought, oh, it's a message.
Oh, no.
It's a message from Bungie. We have to track the constellations that it's firing, and we will unlock the secrets. And
Wait. Oh, wow. I just made a connection we'll get to in a second, but okay, yeah.
But that's the kind of shit, because it was such a notable weapon, people assumed that they were using it for, and there was also in game they would have, sometimes people would kind of glitch out, but they did this on purpose, and they would just say Telesto over and over again, and just weird shit would happen. But so they leaned into it, but then people read too much into that. Right. And thought they were trying to do other things. So it is only correct because Telesto exists in Warframe anyway.
There's a node, I think it's on Saturn.
Right.
There's one of the mission nodes is called Telesto. But one of the things that they did for the unfortunate demise of Destiny 2 was they put an Honoria, which is the title in the game, called Choose Your Own Fate, which is the tagline from the last expansion, Destiny.
Edge of Fate was the thing, but I mean, Fate's always been
the final shape. That's the final shape.
Yeah.
Was Choose Your Own Fate. So there was an Honoria you could get if you played this one particular alert mission on the node Telesto, and it was a nod towards Destiny 2. Now, here's the fun part that I just connected with that was that mission got introduced in the latest Warframe patch, which is Jade Shadow's Constellations. Hello.
Oh, you fuckers.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Anyway.
I should mention, just today, I was on the subway, and I have a bunch of pins on my backpack, and a guy clocked my Destiny pin, which was a gun. Like I bought some other pins, and they were like blind bags of different weapons, and it was the Dead Man's. I can't remember the name of the goddamn thing. It's a rifle, but it looks cool, and I put it on my bag, and he clocked it as a Destiny pin. He's like, "Is that Destiny?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "Sucks, eh?" He's like, "Yeah." We had a brief conversation about the state of things.
You had a moment.
Yeah, it was nice. We had a brief conversation before we went on about our day. But I was just really amazed that he clocked a gun as a Destiny item. That was intense. Yeah. But
all right, brother.
Yeah. So
that's the thing. Like I was on a random mission in Warframe today with somebody who had the Choose Your Own Fate Honoria as their Honoria, and I just wanted to go like, I'm sorry, man.
Dead Man's Tale.
Dead Man's Tale. Okay.
Just side note. Dead Man's Tale. It sucks that I couldn't remember the name, but it's like a lever action rifle, and it's designed. You get a bonus for hip firing it because it's straight out of a fucking Western.
Yeah.
It was one of the high water marks of exotic weapons, and it was part of one of the best missions in the game that they ever did. But it's such a great fucking weapon. Anyway, that's the kind of shit that Destiny did best.
I got stuff I want to show you, man. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. So the TLDR after all this is I'm playing Guild Wars 1 and 2, so I am playing Guild Wars Reforged a little bit. I think I watched a video recently from somebody who only played Guild Wars 2 and then went back and played Guild Wars Reforged, and said, and I feel exactly the same way. Have you ever felt nostalgia for something that you never experienced. That's what playing Guild Wars 1 feels like, right? It's
That's
like
intense.
You get it. You get the why this was like, oh, hang on. You understand why this was revolutionary.
Another you played it.
Yeah. Quantum.
And you're connected to that person.
The pants of time, the quantum trousers.
No, the other Kevin definitely played this.
Definitely.
And we're sharing the moment. That makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
There's definitely a very close multiverse where he played. He played it more.
So
than
yeah,
you
no,
did.
I totally like. I didn't get it at first, but now that I'm getting into it a little bit further, I'm like. And also because thankfully I was there, like I know what their sources were. I know where they were coming from. I played EverQuest. Like I get what they were doing that was different. And when I remember that and I compare it to what I'm currently experiencing, which is what people would have been experiencing in the time, I'm like, oh, that's why people go this.
And
right.
The other thing about playing an older title now is a lot of elements of quality of life improvements.
Yes.
And other games have come out in the same way that if you were to play Destiny 2 vanilla today, a lot of the things that they've added since then, you would feel them missing, just simple things like vault space and just, oh my God, I forgot you can't, or like ammo,
Right.
something as simple as
Right.
you had to get primary ammo bricks in Destiny 2 vanilla. So you could run out of ammunition.
Oh yeah.
It would regenerate after time, but that was a huge issue in the early days. And they quickly went, this is a bad idea. We need to fucking let you at least have infinite primary ammo.
Well, it's like in Guild Wars. So Guild Wars 2 movement is a very big thing.
Yeah.
Right. Not so much. Guild Wars 1 uses a very much older model. Right. There's no jumping in Guild Wars 1. You don't jump.
But also, and it's also, but it is reforged. So they've also obviously made changes.
There are changes to the UI and stuff, but the actual gameplay itself is exactly the same.
Interesting. I would have thought they would have made a few more alterations.
Nope.
But they want to keep that original.
It's the game.
It's
it is
just
the game.
We just made it look pretty.
Yep.
And fixed some of the dumber shit.
So some of the fun I'm having with that is going back and having to get back into that EverQuest mindset of, okay, first of all, you're not going to face tank everything.
Right.
You have to be thoughtful. You have to be careful. You have to watch the enemy. You have to make careful pulls. You have to pull, teams away from other groups, and you have to be.
You're not going to kill 7 things at once.
Exactly. You have to be methodical in a way that in modern MMOs you can just go fucking YOLO dive in, right? No, not in this. This is unforgiving in a way that older MMOs are, and it's kind of refreshing to remind yourself that this is the real meat right here, right? So this is what you got to learn, because the stuff we've got now is baby steps compared to where you came from. So it's been very cool, very refreshing.
I do have Reforged, and I would like to fire that up, and maybe this is another good excuse to do so. Another
reason it's good to get into Guild Wars 1 is that you were never forced to group, because after if you don't play Prophecies as the very first campaign, if you play one of the other expansion packs, you get henchmen out of the gate.
Right.
So you have your full party of 4, and they're quite good.
I do remember having a crew when I did play it.
They're very good and very effective, so you can play through the whole game without ever having to group with other people.
So don't play Prophecies?
Prophecies isn't. I mean, it's a good place to start if you want the story.
Or go back. Well, okay. So it's playable, but you're saying it feels like you should be playing with other people if you're doing it that way.
I started with Prophecies, and I'm like, I was feeling the kind of and I watched some videos, and the videos were saying, look, it's if you want the story in chronological order, play them in chronological order, but quality of life starts with, I can't remember what the next expansion is, where you actually get the henchmen.
Or even just start the second one, and then go back and play Prophecies once you've got henchmen.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And there is a point at which they converge, and you can just go off.
And let's reiterate again that these games are inexpensive.
Oh yeah, like fuck yeah, like
again, we're coming back to value, and in today's economy, it's fucking important because you know your money is not going as far as it used to. So the idea of dropping 28 Canadian on Steam Guild Wars Reforged, you could get 100 hours more out of it easy.
You will get hundreds and hundreds
of
hours,
satisfying
like,
gameplay,
like just so
and then
much.
Guild Wars 2 again is free to start.
People have spent 20 fucking years in that game.
Yeah.
Like it's
there's
crazy.
a lot of gameplay to be had in a game like that. So it is value. And
that's another thing I think that why games like Guild Wars and Warframe are having a moment is because the value you get out of, like, the investment for the time that you get out of it is unquestioned.
And it's a reflection of the love and care that went into these titles. You know, the passion involved.
Here's again, this is why you should feel good about this shit. The people cared about a thing, made a good thing, and now, after years and years of hard work, toil, sweat, blood, and tears, they're finally being rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I'm assuming that the hundreds of people that work at ArenaNet many have been there since 2005.
I mean, the reason that Guild Wars Reforged happened, I think we may have talked about this a little bit, but so Guild Wars 1 never stopped running.
Right.
But it was run as like a fan thing.
Sure. Just like shards or whatever.
Yeah. But it was one of the original developers just kind of kept it going because for like 20 people or something, that was just like, we still love this thing. We
want people to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, and we're not going to stop you from doing that.
And ArenaNet kind of went, you want to make this real? You want to make this like a real thing to the original, who hadn't worked there at all.
Oh.
And they went, yeah. So they're now working at ArenaNet again.
That's
and
great.
It's like, they're the one that are in charge of Guild Wars Reforged now.
Because on a big picture, as this comes up constantly, and the shitty state of the games industry, and we keep coming back to the fact that it is the corporate mindset that has tainted everything. I mean, the money has definitely elevated a lot of the elements of gaming, but at an incredible cost. On every level, the fact that the way they talk about AAA titles now, they say it's a $300 million floor for developing a AAA title, which feels insane to say, but the money is there. Successful games can gross $1 billion in the same way that movies can do the same, but it's not necessary. But people have been trained to think, unless it looks like this, it's not worth your money. But more and more people, in the same way that people are fighting AI, they're recognizing the value in a game that was lovingly crafted over 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
And you can still play. You know, the running, one of the biggest problems with Destiny and Destiny 2 has been the inability to play it as it was. As I said, they sunset half the fucking game for Destiny 2.
We should probably segue here because this is the good point at which to segue, because apparently you've been destined with
the Monument of Triumph. I, like many other people,
destinated.
We used to say destinated.
Okay.
At least maybe Jamie and I would use. Are we going to destinate tonight? You know, because we like to murder the English language as much as possible. So I did fire it up. I haven't played since when the Edge of Fate launched. I didn't buy it, and I fired it up, and I got to the first mission, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. Because at the time all of us had kind of decided not to play it anyway.
Right.
And most of what I was hearing about it justified that. Said it's fine, it's not great, and you know what's there is quite thin. You know, they're setting up a whole new story, but meh. And even Renegades turned out to be
Renegades
good.
Was just weird.
Well, the whole Star Wars thing was
Yeah,
it felt a little desperate. And
so I'll tell you this, so we can get past it. But when it was announced that it was, you know, this is it, I went, I should pay my respects, because despite the fact that I made many attempts, on paper I should have loved it. there's a whole truckload of baggage that goes along with it. So it was never ever going to be a thing, but I still feel some connection to it.
You respect what they did.
Yes.
And you wanted to be a part of it, but it was just never going to happen. And sometimes, and that's reality.
At the floor level, like the gameplay itself, I always felt was fighting my instincts, right? And this is one of the reasons why Warframe has hit where it never did, because Warframe does hit my instincts, and Destiny was always fighting.
You can never know what's going to hit with you, and that's why it was such a shock that Warframe did.
It could be just the simple difference between first person and third person.
Sure,
that may be it.
That could be
because I have struggled with first person games now. But anyway, but I went, okay. We're now at the point where it's like Destiny is done. So I'm like, well, some of the baggage is gone now, right? Because like my friends who were playing, I mean, what part of the baggage was my friends played, I didn't. I wanted to get into it, but because the Destiny teams are 3-man teams, my friends are like already a group, so I'm always the third or the fourth person, so I'm always the odd man out.
Yeah.
So there wasn't ever really a place for me, and I always felt like I was, not intentionally.
Somebody else had to sit out.
Yeah,
in order
exactly.
For you to be in the fire team, and I get that.
It felt shitty, and so it's like there was that was part of the baggage that went along with that, but that's gone now. Right? So okay. Maybe I should look at it again, because now there's no FOMO. There's no, I have to catch up with my friends. There's none of that kind of thing. So I do have a gutter install of Windows on a portable drive that if I need to boot into Windows, and I never do, but if I do, I can. So I did that. I booted into Windows because the only way I can play Destiny now is to boot into Windows. And I fired it up, and because all of the DLC was on sale, I got like the Renegades.
Right. Well, then the Legacy Collection, I think they're calling it. It was like $30.
There was like I paid like $15 for what I didn't already have.
Interesting.
Right. I already had almost everything. I bought.
Yeah. No. I paid $30, and that basically covered Edge of Fate and Renegades.
That may have been, it was
maybe
like,
you just bought Renegades instead.
I may have just bought. I don't. I have everything.
Okay.
Is what it comes down to. I don't even remember how I did whatever. It wasn't a lot of money, so that's why I was able to do it, because I went, oh, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, it was.
Right?
It was just a fuck it here. Let's make a few bucks out of this while we can.
Man, I tried. I really tried. I tried to play the Renegades thing, right? That was where I started. I'm like, oh, okay, Star Wars. Of course, come on. It's Star Wars. And, okay, so the Star Wars-ness of it just kind of felt weird, man. It felt like, what? You're trying really hard to make Destiny into something vaguely Star Wars smelling. Right? It was this weird, like, okay, you're still Destiny.
I want to know who approached who.
Yeah.
Like, did Destiny say, we'd love to do something with Star Wars? And they went, okay. Or did Star Wars go, we'd love to collab with you guys with Destiny? And they went, yeah, we could probably do that. Maybe it was once they added swords. When swords were added to Destiny, they went, hey, it'd be cool if we had lightsabers.
I think this is the problem. They didn't go far enough.
Well, exactly.
Right? They still tried to, like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge it. But, so, you're in a trash compactor. Ooh, remember that? You remember that?
Fortnite started throwing everybody in there, and they didn't try to explain it.
Yeah,
it was like, it's fucking Star Wars and Fortnite. Play it and have fun.
Fucking, it's Destiny. What, a rift in space and time opens up, and whatever. Darth Vader comes out.
Fucking, it was Tekken 3 had Darth Vader and Yoda. Just because. Why not?
Yeah, they should have done that.
Soul Calibur.
That would have been much more acceptable than, like, the weird, like,
the attempt to work it into the actual
suddenly
narrative.
We have a soundtrack that kind of sounds like John Williams may have sniffed it at some point. Anyway, the gameplay itself was just, I'm so bad at the shooting that I just kept dying and kept dying. I was one of those beating my head against a brick wall, either the wall is going to give or my head's going to give, and my head gave.
So I
tapped out.
having not played for a year, I had to kind of start over because my light level was only 10. So it kicks you up to 300 immediately.
Right.
But for end game content, people are like 500 and something, I think, for the to max out your shit. So I just wanted to do solo ops because that's something I never did. They added the solo ops in Edge of Fate.
That is one of the things I saw that there was some at some weird fucking cryptic hard to get to point. There's like a solo playlist. Yeah. I'm like, fuck yeah, give me that shit. Oh my god, why wasn't that always the? Anyway.
But they greatly limit what you can get out of it. That's the problem.
3 times I clicked it, I got the same mission.
Yes, it is exactly right. So they half-assed the solo playlist because they didn't want to really make solo content because it's about having a fire team.
Sure.
At the very least, they want you to have 3 people.
That.
And it will matchmake you. And like if you choose a regular strike, there's other people that are going to join you.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to know what they're doing, which is part of it. So I wanted to, I can't say it's nostalgia. I mean, it's only been like a year and a bit since I played it, but it was nice to get back into it and to get back into that world and just kind of look around and get some of the new weapons. And, I'm looking at maybe getting a build going, but then I watched a video today and they made it sound like there was a quick way to get the Necrochasm, which is a Thrall auto rifle. And it was a raid drop. I'm like, oh, good. I assume they've made it easy to get this. No, it's basically it's the same thing. You got to do Crota's End, which is one of the raids. It's the easier raid to do, but it's still a fucking raid.
Yeah.
You got to do that. You get the thing that starts the mission that lets you get the new weapon. Then you do a couple of the other things. Then you have to grind the raid to get the items, to get the thing, to do the thing, and then in order to get the catalyst, you got to grind the raid again. And I went, oh right. Yeah, never mind. So I still would like to.
I'm a Warframe player, and none of that seems like. Yeah, that's fine.
I would like to.
That's life, man.
I'm happy to play through the story. I wanted to at least get my shit leveled up to like 400 before I play through the story of Edge of Fate and Renegades.
Right.
So that when I do get pulled into fire team missions, that I will be able to at least not die like a fucking noob. Even now I'm playing the master version of the solo ops, and they're all the enemies are level 400 and I'm like 340, so I'm very squishy. So again, it's nice to get back into it a bit. I'm not committing myself to it, but we're also the number of people who are playing it right now are going to dwindle fairly quickly.
Oh yeah.
There's still going to be people that are happy to jump in and play with a fire team and run raids for shits and giggles.
It's got a life. Like it's still going to be played. Like
there is a fairly decent chance that Sony just puts a bullet in it. Like right now, they're not planning on shutting off the servers. A year from now, they could just kill it.
Yeah,
we don't know. It's not like Warframe or these other games where they can or they're not going to say, "Oh, you want to run a shard? No problem. You guys have fun. We're not making any money off this anymore."
That would be interesting because, like, I know that this is another reason why Warframe players have been so empathetic towards Destiny players is because, like, we're kind of in the same boat, man. If they ever decide to put a bullet in it, or if Tencent pulls out and DE doesn't have any money anymore, what happens to Warframe? Mm-hmm. And there is such a community around Warframe that is like emotionally connected. I don't know what the fuck would happen. Like, it's weird.
Because they've said that they couldn't redo the Red War if they wanted to, because somehow they managed to lose the
there's some
material.
tech. Yeah,
I feel like I just feel like they don't want to. At the core, because things have changed so much in the game, they don't want to have to bring it up. And my answer to that, and I don't know why this hasn't come up. I'm sure somebody suggested it. Give us like a frozen state from Forsaken, because Forsaken's gone as well.
There have to be build numbers.
I absolutely
be like build versions.
I'm saying give us the February 10th 2017 version of Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And that's it. And so you can start a new character in that shard, rip your way through up to that point, and you probably wouldn't, you might be able to, you might not be able to bring the character into the main game from there, but you can't do any of the shit that came into the game afterward. None of the quality of life improvements, none of the vault expansions, none of that. Just literally, here's a frozen version of what the game was like at this point. You may now play through the story as was available at that point before the infamous sunsetting. And I would, and again, it's not going to make a lot of money, but it would be nice to pay respects to the work that has come before, to the writing that came into that era. It was a good 5-6 years of video gaming that we loved, and just jump in occasionally and have fun, run Escalation Protocol on Mars, all of those things. Just, and it doesn't have to be updated. It doesn't have to be 4K or whatever the fuck it was added afterwards. Just let us have a little bit of nostalgia to replay some of those old classic levels, and not have to worry about what if I had stasis in this version? No, none of that exists.
I guarantee you, it's not that it can't be done.
Right.
It's that the money to pay for the manpower to do it isn't there.
Yeah, and if they were to hand this over and say, you guys can work this out, host it, I don't care, whatever. But that won't happen because it's corporate. They won't do it. They were only do it if they could make some money off of it, and there's not nearly enough people to justify it, and they're already looking at, there's just been a fuckload of rumors about the layoffs coming to Bungie. I mean, of course they're gonna fucking lay off everybody.
Yeah.
So when it happens, they've made it sound like it's inevitable, and it probably is.
I also want to tell you this, but so somebody on YouTube for the past year or so, they have explicitly said, I'm not going to tell you how I did this, but they have found a way to run the original release version of Warframe. And it's a very different game, but they're like playing through Warframe version 1 kind of thing and posting their videos on YouTube. And they're like, no, we're not telling you how we did this.
Right.
There is a way. Yes, you could do it. It still exists.
But given that all of that is still in the game,
but that's the point, right?
It's simply, here's how it looked when it launched.
Yeah,
it's an artifact.
Yeah,
which is fun. And this is something we like, that all the retro game people, all the people from that world that are trying to save these ancient games, that the companies that created them, they no longer exist and there's no copyright to defend.
Yeah.
It's simply, we want to make sure that these are part of the historical record. And because so many companies had no interest in that. And this falls into that. There should be a historically playable version of Destiny 2 from the Forsaken era before they cut off half the fucking game. And it's bullshit that they haven't done that. And if it was going to cost $20 million, then sure. But I don't think that there's any remotely close to that for a cost.
But
it's just simply they just want total control.
Well, it's the corporate mindset, right? If you can't commoditize it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
So
anyway,
speaking of corporate control, I played a video game to its complete end.
I was gonna say, wait, video games can end?
RoboCop Rogue City.
Okay. I heard good things.
Yeah, it was a PlayStation Plus title a couple months ago, so it added to my collection, and I love RoboCop, and the reviews were very positive. So I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let's play some RoboCop. I played through I've completed the story. I didn't get the expansion. I just said I'm just gonna play it. It's fun. It really is a very reasonable facsimile of the film.
I was going to say, I've heard that it replicates the vibe of the film.
It basically stands as a sequel to RoboCop 2.
Right.
It kind of pretends 3 doesn't exist, except I think they do kind of invoke 3.
I didn't even know 3 existed. So.
3 involved the Japanese. There was a ninja robot that RoboCop fought, and there was a jetpack. There's no jetpack in this game.
Okay.
It might be in the expansion. The expansion sounds like The Raid, because RoboCop goes to some massive fucking building complex where there's like the criminals have taken over, and you basically have to make your way through the giant complex. It's The Raid, or Dread more specifically.
I was going to say that sounds very Dread.
It's more like Dread, which sounds like a fucking win. It's $40 for the expansion. I'm not paying $40 for it, but I might pay 20 or 15.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a lot of fun with the game. He drives like a tank because he's RoboCop. You're not going to get the quick moves that you want, although there is a little boost move that can get you out of the way. Boss fights suck ass. I played it in story mode because I'm just like, I don't want challenge.
Yeah, no, me too.
I want to blow some punks' heads off. That's the funniest thing about the game is that, you're established. Everybody knows who you are. But you walk into the nuke lab where they're putting the drugs together and go, it's RoboCop, get him, and then everybody starts shooting at you instead of running. Like, why wouldn't you just run? And I was thinking about this, and I guess the answer is nuke. Everybody's high as fuck, and they think I can take RoboCop on. Yep. I wish they had made it a little clear that that's why everybody thinks they can kill you, and that's when their heads explode. They're a little surprised, like that's weird. I thought for sure I was going to be able to take RoboCop on one-on-one, but there's a good story, and it continues the OCP angle, and there's a lot of callbacks to the film. You go to the executive offices in OCP, and of course they're laid out like the movie, and then you're poking around and you go into the bathroom, and it's the fucking executive bathroom from RoboCop with Dick Jones, where Dick Jones talks to the guy. It's so funny seeing that all the urinals and the stock ticker over it, and lovingly recreated. It's good. So it's a lot of fun. And so if you love RoboCop and it's cheap, or if you already do have it on PS Now and you've been waiting, it's totally worth firing up. So, but it was nice to play something with a single player story to its completion, and it was 8-10 hours. It wasn't a huge investment. I enjoyed myself. I took my time with it, and now I can move on to other games because that's where we are.
Because video games.
Yeah,
wow.
It's nice to just play something to its end.
Weird, huh? Okay, speaking of things that end and therefore don't, I've got no segue here.
Oh, that's good.
But this was what a surprise this was, but I had to make note of this. All three longtime listeners of the podcast may remember late last year or possibly even the year before.
I think it was a while ago.
I don't remember how long ago. I was talking about the revelatory and deeply moving and emotional experience of me finding my way in Dragon's Dogma 2.
Mm-hmm.
That game did things to my brain that I liked.
Yeah.
It was
shocking.
It was real good.
Even putting yourself in that game was surprising, and the fact that it had such a profound impact on you was shocking.
It really, in the history of me playing games, this is one of the ones that kind of went, something just happened here. Something other just occurred. And so when the director, whose name I can never remember because I'm an ignorant white person and Japanese names don't stay in my head, and I apologize for that. The director left Capcom. And the whole thing about Dragon's Dogma was that both Dragon's Dogma 1 and 2 were very much authored works. They were the vision of a person, and it very much felt like that. So when that person left, we all assumed that this is it then. This is, and it's been all quiet on the Dragon's Dogma front.
I mean, people played it through and that was it.
So with Dragon's Dogma 1, there was a follow-up. It's kind of an expansion, kind of a weird side thing, kind of a reimagining that was released called Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. They have announced Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen, which is phenomenal. Like,
it was extremely confusing.
I'll bet you it was confusing.
They announced it, went, everybody, like people like me went, wait,
what?
That was wasn't that the first one?
So here's the funny thing about the whole Dragon's Dogma thing. I did talk about this before in the Dragon's Dogma talk. Dragon's Dogma, the original Dragon's Dogma, was kind of an experiment, and Dark Arisen was their kind of second chance at fleshing that out a bit. That was kind of how that went. That became like a real underground hit. It didn't make big numbers, but it was recognized as, oh wait, there's something here, like there's something different and special here. So when the director finally got Capcom to agree to like give me money and we'll make a new one, Dragon's Dogma 2 is really so narratively it basically takes place in the same, I wouldn't even say same universe, it's the same mythology, but they don't really have any connection to each other. It's a reimagining, essentially, of Dragon's Dogma. So Dragon's Dogma 1 and 2, you can kind of speak of as the same thing. Dragon's Dogma 2 is just the kind of fully realized version of Dragon's Dogma 1. To the extent that when you first play Dragon's Dogma 2, it doesn't say Dragon's Dogma 2 in the title card. It says Dragon's Dogma. Until
very confusing.
Until a certain point in the storytelling that was such a revelation that I literally put down the controller and sat back and went, what? But anyway, I won't spoiler that. I already spoilered it a couple of years ago, apparently. Yeah. Anyway, they have announced a follow-up add-on to Dragon's Dogma 2 called Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen. We are thrilled. Capcom has actually talked about this now, and I am genuinely positive on their spin on this, because what they're talking about is taking their franchises, quote unquote, and moving it away from single authored works. And letting teams get their hands on this. And I really approve of that, because I am always suspicious of anything that gives too much credit to a single person.
Absolutely.
And I include George Lucas and Jim Henson and like anybody, anytime you hear about this single vision.
It's always marketing.
It really is.
It's so much easier to push something as the vision of one person. and any reasonably talented person will shy away from that as much as they can. Yeah. They also recognize that it's a fucking business and they have to let them push it, but the good ones will take time to make sure that everybody gets recognized. Yeah. You know, guys like James Gunn always make sure that everybody knows exactly who's responsible.
It's good and important to have a single person that everything kind of orbits around.
Yeah.
But it's nothing that's ever good and makes any kind of waves is ever the work of a single person. Right. That's bullshit.
The fact that there are people that truly believe Stan Lee conceived of all of these characters is very frustrating for everybody who really helped with those creations.
So apparently that's what they're doing with Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen.
Right.
And I'm fucking thrilled. Like the Dragon's Dogma subreddit is like popping off and coming back to life again. I have sort of poked around my old save. It's still there. And I'm like, and there's still plenty to do for me in the game. I never fully completed all of the tracks that I could have completed. So I'm going back and just like spending time in that world and just reappreciating what was there and rediscovering like the depth that was put into that and going, we're getting more, baby. There's going to be a whole other landmass. There's going to be whole other plot lines. Oh my God, this is so good.
Capcom has just, the last couple of years has just been on an absolute fucking tear.
They
had a very rough period when every time they tried to reboot something, it would flop hard and for good reason in most cases.
Yeah.
But on the backs of a lot of these Resident Evil remakes that turned out to be excellent.
Yeah, I've heard good things. It's not my thing, but I've heard good things.
Their coffers are flush, and thankfully they are throwing money into things like Dragon's Dogma to say, yeah, you guys go ham.
Honestly, I'm really happy they're kind of going, no, let's make this a thing.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, exactly. So and they've already released 2 patches for Dragon's Dogma with some quality of life improvements, and that are genuinely good improvements. And October is when the expansion's launching. I'm thrilled. I am so happy to be like actually going back into that world.
That's the other thing is that they announced this at the fucking Game Fest. It's like a month, not even a month ago. And they're like, oh yeah, it's coming out in October. Pardon?
Yeah. It's like, wait, what?
How much could there possibly be in this? Oh, hold on. You know, obviously they've been working on it for a while, which is great.
Yeah, no, it looks really promising. So I'm thrilled. So there we go. Dragon's Dogma 2, Dark Arisen. We're going to be talking about that, baby. Let me tell you, that's going to be a thing.
2 came out in June 2022.
Yep. There we go. Oh, I'm old. But yeah, no, if you've never played, and also Dragon's Dogma 2, the base game, is getting a permanent price reduction.
Reduction.
Listen to the word reduction. Let me tell you, if you've never played Dragon's Dogma 2,
Nintendo, it can happen. You can do that.
Good Lord, play that game. Don't try and make it be a different game. Let it guide you.
It is still currently $90 on Steam.
Oh, it won't be soon.
Okay, so when the Arisen comes out.
Yeah, it's they're doing a thing.
Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is $50.
Also, very much worth having and playing. It is a remarkable achievement. Unique.
I guess I own it.
There you go.
How the fuck did that happen?
You know what? Play it. Fucking play it. Like, I'm serious.
This is so funny. I love this. This is me in a nutshell. It's like, oh, I have it already.
Yeah.
I don't have 2, but I'm guessing it was part of one of the fucking Humble Bundles at some point.
It may have been.
That's funny.
At any rate, so there we go. So I guess the last thing is going to be your bi-weekly Warframe check-in, and there's a bunch of stuff that happened. Some good, some not so good. So, the big expansion, the big, what's the third of a year? I don't know what that's called. Not quarterly, triurnally, whatever that is.
Sounds right.
Sure. The third of year expansion.
It's every.
Don't even try.
4 months.
Look at him. He's trying.
How many numbers are there in a year?
It's too many numbers. Andrew, there's too many numbers.
3 4-month seasons instead of 4 3-month seasons?
They try and do 3 updates a year.
Trinary?
2 of them big. Anyway, they do too many updates. Even I agree that Warframe does too many updates. That was the thing. When the teams changed and Rebecca Ford took over, they went, we're not doing big updates every couple of years. We're doing smaller updates throughout the year. That was their whole thing. And that's been working very well, but it's kind of catching up to them. So Warframe Jade Shadows Constellations launched this past Wednesday. Now, the quest itself is a follow-up quest to a previous side story quest that is very much community beloved, very moving. I'm not going to spoil anything because it is the kind of thing you really do need to experience firsthand. But it is one of the more emotionally evocative quests in Warframe. This is the follow-up to that. And it story-wise, does a very good job of following up on that. The problem that has happened, and this has been the case in the past few updates. Now, those of us who are veterans of live service and MMO-style games know that when a game updates with as big of an update as this, they gonna be bugs, baby. Stuff's going to happen.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Day one, you don't expect things to just be good. Things happen.
I paid good money for this game.
Thanks, Reddit. But so yeah, things lodged and things were buggy. There were some bugs. There were some pretty major
like more
bugs.
than usual.
A little bit more than usual. Now, so much more than usual that they actually got in front of it, and both Rebecca Ford and Pablo, whose last name I can never remember, but he's the lead programmer, was out there going, okay, guys, look, There are known bugs. We couldn't fix them before this went to console cert, and this is the real Achilles heel of the whole process. Because Warframe is multi-platform, the code base has to be exactly the same on all platforms, and when you go to console cert, that takes time. You have to submit the code to the console platforms, both Xbox and PlayStation. They have to certify it and get back to you, and then the code can launch. So that process takes time. So you have to have a date that's a hard cutoff for your code to be submitted. Bugs or no bugs, it's got to be in now. So that's the problem that Warframe is facing. And the thing is, you've got 13 years of technical debt, spaghetti code on top of spaghetti code, and they're trying to do innovative things. There's going to be bugs, and that's just the way it is. Now, thankfully, it's DE. So when there's bugs, they go, yep, there's bugs. You're absolutely right. There's going to be bugs. We will take care of that. And they have been. So within 24 hours.
Sure, they deleted my character, but that's fine. I get to start over again.
It's nothing as bad as that.
Of course.
There were some progression stopping bugs. There were some UI bugs. There's still a couple of UI bugs.
Insta-boss kill.
Yeah, there's nothing that was like life-ending or anything. It was just like a minor annoyances more than anything else.
We accidentally made the boss immortal.
No, nothing quite that bad, but
we may have added a few zeros to his health bar.
there have been some damage attenuation situations that were kind of close to that. But anyway, within 24 hours, there were 3 hot fixes out the door that addressed most of the problem. It's DE. So every Thursday, and this is the point that I want to kind of come to. Yeah, there were bugs, and there were kind of more bugs than usual. But one of the reasons that there were more bugs than usual is because the structure of the quests that came with this expansion, and there was a lot in this. I think personally there was too much in this expansion. They gotta fucking calm down and just pace themselves a little bit more. We will understand, DE, I promise, that if we don't get all of the things all at once, it's okay.
Right.
TennoCon is next month. Fucking relax. But anyway, that's just me. There was so much in this that, of course, there's going to be bugs. And one of the game modes that was part of this expansion is a notoriously buggy game mode that they did some new innovative stuff in, and that's the stuff that can get broken.
30-person battle royal where you jump off a bus.
No, it's all railjack stuff. It's all stuff in the starship. It's all it's all just UI bugs. That's it. That's all it is. So it's like, yeah, okay. I understand because I've worked with code before. I get how this works, and I understand like versioning, and I understand code cutoff dates, and I get all that stuff. A lot of people don't. So of course you get the usual Reddit freak out.
Well, because any of these live service games, when the new shit hits, everybody goes hard. Some people want to rip through it as quickly as possible. And, I've made that crack before about, like, oh, good, it's out. We expect people to take at least 30 days to get to the next ding. What was that? And because there's just people that just can't just enjoy the game. So if there's bugs, then and they can't tear through the whole thing in a day.
There's immediately a freak out reaction, right?
So maybe just chill. Maybe just enjoy what's there. And
there's been a bit of that, but again, those of us who are vets go, it's day one, baby. You're not getting out of this scot free. Like, stuff's gonna happen.
Take the fucking servers offline. I'll do something else tonight. It's fine.
Yeah, but anyway, so this is the point that I want to come to is like, this is how darling DE is. Even when things go wrong, they model how to do it right. Every week, there is a community focused live stream. A Primetime Live in June, which is renamed Pride Time Live. I love you, D.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't. But that's usually headed by some of the community team members, some of whom are developers and some of whom are just responsible for handling community bug reports, that kind of thing, social media, all that kind of stuff. Rebecca Ford, the game director, the leader, right? Like, she recorded a video to be played specifically on, this is 24 hours after the patch launched, and it was clear things were not the best. There were bugs. Rebecca Ford recorded a video saying, okay, here's the deal. And the very first thing she said in it was, I don't want the community team to be the face of this. This is me. I'm responsible. I'm the leader. I'm the one that said, this is how we're going to address this. That's a fucking leader. They don't throw their people to the wolves. She takes responsibility for it, right? That was like, and again, because she did that, people go, all right, right? Like, this is
communication.
It's been, well, that's the whole thing. D is so good at this transparency and communication. Yeah. They're masters at it. Mm-hmm. That, like, even though there are bugs and they go, yep, there's bugs, like, they're in it with us. Yeah. That's the feeling that the community gets, is like
the fact that they released 3 patches in a day.
Yeah, no,
it's showing how intently they are focusing on it.
So I was, just before you got here, I was playing through some of the missions that were the buggiest, and only one time did I ever encounter a bug that was just like an infinite loading bug, and that could have been not even the game. It could have been like somebody who's playing on their Switch, mm-hmm. and they were the host, and then their Wi-Fi cut out. Like, it could have been something like that, right? That's it. Everything's been fine. I've been able to run the missions. Everything has been perfectly fine. I had a couple of UI bugs on day 1. They got patched within 12 hours. Like, it's fine. So it's been a bit of a rocky road. But I will say the story is really good. The patch is really good. The new warframes are fantastic and really neat, and have broken my brain trying to build them, because there's a whole thing there. It's one warframe, but there's actually 2 of them.
50?
This is now 65.
Jesus Christ.
And that doesn't include primes. This is 65 distinct warframes. I don't know how many weapons there are, because it's in the hundreds. I'm not kidding.
Crazy.
It's wild. So anyway, Warframe is good. Things are a bit rocky right now, but they, again, full confidence that they're going to like smooth this out.
Going back to church on Sunday?
Yeah, I will probably be going back to church on Sunday, or maybe Frankie will.
Oh.
You know, we'll just have to see how I'm feeling on Sunday, how my voice is on Sunday, because apparently he wants to give out real bad. But
yeah.
Anyway, so there we go. There's your Warframe catch up. So next month, oh boy, it's time. We're going hard. It's going to be TennoCon. Before we know, we got like, what, 2 podcasts possibly before?
Well, the next podcast, July, so
we may have 1 podcast before TennoCon. I got to look at what the schedule is going to be, because I'm hoping, I don't know what my tech situation's going to be. I'm looking at different I want to be able to live stream, obviously, from TennoCon, but I don't know what my Wi-Fi at the motel is going to be. I don't know. My data plan may not. I have no fucking clue.
It's a nice to have, but I wouldn't stress about it. You're focused on being present and I'm
gonna try.
Since it's your first one, I think you should be focused more on.
Oh yeah, I'll be focused on the moment, of course, obviously. But like, you know, in the evening, I'll come back. I'll have my laptop. I'll have my Steam Deck. Like, we'll see what I can do. I don't know. I'll do something. Yeah. But I have to, just to commemorate the occasion, if nothing else. It's going to be a whole thing. So yeah, I guess we probably just have like 1 podcast before TennoCon. Oh God, don't say those words. Now I'm even more nervous. We're gonna end it there, because I gotta go have a nervous breakdown.
There's definitely, I mean, I was gonna say our next one is the 3rd, and then the next week is TennoCon.
Oh my God! Yep, we got 1 podcast, we got the countdown before TennoCon has officially started. Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck!
You're well on your way. You got your plans. your Ordis is almost complete.
Ordis is looking pretty good, I got to say. So, all right.
Anyway, it's going to be great.
We're going to end it there. Thank you, everybody. If you've listened this far, you are, of course, a champ. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Kevin.
And a finger on the button. We will catch you next time.
You have been listening to Pixels and Puppets, the Operation Puppet podcast. Visit www.operationpuppet.com for all our links. Tell your friends, give us a rating wherever you get your podcasts, and join us again because nothing is more entertaining than aging nerds giving their opinions on the internet.